if you had it on your schedule?
Well, part of what we're going to do, and I was going to bring it up in a little while, but tomorrow morning, we're going to send out the preference sheet like we do every year. Along with that, I was able to get the schedule of when those meetings are and where they are, because that might, factor in your decision whether you want to participate in a regional board. But I don't know, we have to check that and make sure that there's no
we haven't
conflict.
checked
My
if
snow clean power is Tuesday morning, and it gets over about noon, and if I wanted to hit a 1 PM or 2 PM, for someone that works and does other things, it's very difficult for people.
And Tuesdays are just, that's just an
something-
option. We can propose something
When we
else.
make these decisions, we need to have those answered as well. The next is curious on how long it takes, kind of an average agenda to be made by staff. How many staff hours are put into one?
It depends on the agenda. I would say that Public Works and Finance, Admin, Police are significant. Usually, creating the bones of one, because we have a template each time, that part's easy. It's getting the items from the various departments, getting that all built. So any agenda can take 4 hours. It can take 3 days. It really depends on the content, how big are the items. Council is significant comparatively.
So this is a cost savings with efficiency as well.
100%. Yes.
The last thing I have, this joint city school, I don't think that it should actually be a scheduled meeting, even though we only said twice a year. I think we need to make it an ad hoc. That way, when things come up, because this was created when I was on the school board, and we did it because we had a lot of projects that we were doing together, and we've actually kind of worked through that. We're streamlined. All these huge projects have been completed, and there's no need to actually have this meeting as that. If we can do it as a ad hoc, it'd be great.
So we unfortunately can't do it as an ad hoc because the ad hoc has to only have city council members on it, and this would be a joint committee that would have school board members on it too. But it can still be a committee that just doesn't have a regular meeting date and only meets, as needed.
Then I would suggest
I'm not
that.
charging.
I think that's a better idea in scheduling than having them actually scheduled, is we had just special meetings.
Just,
Are we okay?
Take one
interrupted.
second.
Councilmember Walters saying he's having a hard time hearing.
Yeah.
Breaking up. I don't know if there's anything you can do about that.
Is it because we're not talking into the microphones?
Yeah. Councilmember Walter, if you can let me know, can you hear me right now?
Can you hear me now, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, we can hear you.
Barely.
Can you hear us?
All right, well, if you don't mind, I'd just like to give you my 2 cents while the communication is good here.
Please.
I don't have a problem with consolidation. My only concern is that we're going to be trying to put too much into one bucket, and we're not going to really accomplish a whole lot. So I'm okay with it on a trial basis. Maybe we review it again in 6 months and see if we're accomplishing our goal of talking about all the different topics. I know the one topic that's probably going to be bubbling up to the top for me is the new advisory committee for the sales tax referendum. I'd really like to see us get going on that ASAP and get something and some people in place by mid-February. As soon as that first check hits, we want to have an advisory committee in place. And I'd hate to see it shoved somewhere that we don't get to it for 6 or 7 months. I don't know if all of that got through to you or not, but.
Less Zoom webinar, less than T-desktop multi-view.
Completely agree, Councilmember Walter. So you want to try the proposed schedule? Is that what you're saying?
My audio.
Yes.
Mute my audio.
Yeah, I'd like to try the new schedule, but only as a trial basis, just to make sure that everything is getting covered and nothing's falling through the cracks. Public Works, Brian, you and I have been on that for a couple of years. I mean, we could talk every day about that. I mean, to cover that topic along with infrastructure or other topics, I think it's important that we don't spread ourselves too tight, if that made sense.
Does, and copy that. So then it sounds like we're on board for the proposed. However, we can bring it back as a scheduled item in July or August, depending when our meetings fall, and check in and make sure we're doing the right thing and switch back if we have to.
Just my observation has been that there are repeat items on some of the agendas, so I would recommend maybe the first meeting we have, we take some time to go through the agendas, because there's a lot of things on there that are older, and maybe we can streamline there and add newer current items.
And here's the other question for Alex. When we come back next month and we set the schedule, we can't adjust that in July or August. We stick to that schedule for the rest of the year and then reset, correct?
The council can adjust the meetings if it wants at a future time, that's fine.
So do we have a good direction on our local subcommittees?
I do want to confirm, because I'm going to build one of those calendars before I do it, because it takes some time. As far as the scheduling for July, what were your thoughts on that for council meetings and subcommittees? If we go dark, like some cities do that, and they plan it ahead, would you want to go completely dark with no council as well, or have the one council meeting, knowing that one's going to be canceled due to July 4th?
I think we should always schedule them and then cancel if we can. Don't want to leave ourselves having to schedule special meetings.
Right. For council.
Correct.
Subcommittees, though, you're okay with those going dark for July?
Personally, I'd say no. I'd say that we have them scheduled and then see how they fall. If there's no need, absolutely. But if there's something pressing that pops up, I want to have the space to discuss it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, now that I think that's a good idea
It's
too,
easier
Mike.
to cancel. Just to reschedule, I would say.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that?
Mute my audio.
You're the
Fine with
one that
cancel,
schedules.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. So then now let's move into regional.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and give this one over to Kevin.
Thanks, Mike. Good job. So as part of that sheet we're going to be sending out, you're going to see all the different boards and committees that you're going to be asked to participate in throughout the county, and there's a lot of them. But these 5 here are ones that are mandatory that we send somebody to. So I'm not asking for any answers, but just so you know, like these are the ones. And when we send it out tomorrow, you'll see that the dates and times and the location. The Russian River Watershed Association can be a staff member, so you could select a staff person to be the attendee for that one. So again, we'll send out the sheet tomorrow, and so and then if you could return it by December 30th, we'll compile it all, and then we'll come back and have another conversation about who's going to be on what and who's interested. Next slide. These are the other ones. I mean, some of these are local ones, like liaison to the senior center, liaison to the planning commission, those types of things. They're not really that time consuming, but we do have those. Some of those could be eliminated too, or we could just keep them there. I don't think a lot of them are super time consuming, but the ones at the bottom are a little bit more regional, but we're not required to have somebody on those. Next one, Mike. And hopefully you got an email from Lauren Burgess regarding the other committees. I just put this in here straight from her email. The bold titles are where they're looking for to have people fill in. If you're interested in those, you just send your letter of interest, and then the mayors and council meeting will decide who gets on those. And I think, Mayor, you've been through that, so you understand how that works. So here's the ones that are, and it's City Selection Committee and the board, they're the same group. For some reason, in the state law, there's a reason that there's 2 different titles, but it's the same group deciding on who gets on these boards. So just give you a preview of what you're going to be seeing tomorrow. So next steps, really, I think we've gotten our direction on the subcommittee reconfiguration. And again, we can bring this back in July or August, or maybe after a year, see how it's going. I do think there's some repeat stuff going on that we can work with Mike and you guys to get rid of some of those items that are either older or they're being discussed at a different subcommittee. So that might help. Again, so the ranking sheet will be sent out tomorrow. Let me know if you want it in paper or email's fine. And then if you could return it to Mike and I by December 30th so we can start getting ready for the January 8th council meeting where we'll make the final decisions and adopt a calendar and get everybody on their boards and subcommittees.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What's happening with vector control? Is that woman still on the board from Cloverdale?
There is the vector control. I'm not sure if there's any vacancies. It probably would have shown up on the email from Lauren. Can you go down, Mike?
Well, didn't we send somebody from Cloverdale who was not a council member? Isn't that who's on vector control right now? And you were going to ask her if she wanted to stay on there or not?
Yeah, well, I'll have to report back to you on that. Mike maybe will find it.
Yes, we can.
All right, so what I'm pulling up just for council to see, I don't think Zoom can see it. I'll try to share my screen in 1 second. Is basically the MADI Act just tells us where we have to post things and the date in which they're going to expire. So Marin Sonoma Mosquito and Vector Control District Board of Trustees has somebody who we selected, and their term does not expire until January of 2027. So they're currently
Of
still
when?
elected. January 27.
And Kevin, I thought you were going to ask her if she still wanted to be on that.
I need to do that. I forgot. That's Carol, yeah.
Thanks.
And then since we're here at Sonoma County Library Commission, we have Brooke Green as our representative. Hers also expires February of 27. Otherwise, it's Planning Commission.
I'll ask you, the way this works is they'll send you a ranking sheet. If you have any questions about any of these regional boards, reach out to one of us, reach out to Kevin, reach out to Alex through Kevin, whatever works to go over these and explain them so that you can kind of get an idea of what you might be interested in, and then fill out the ranking sheet. You two have done it, so Gus has done it 27 times at this point. All right. Any questions? Anything else with this that we need to discuss? All right. Do you need anything else from us, Kevin?
I think we're good.
Come back. You're the city manager, so now's your time.
Yeah, no, just make sure you can get it back to us so we can get the report done in time. That was my only request.
Okay, we'll move into subcommittee reports. Anyone have any written or verbal subcommittee reports? Seeing none, all of our subcommittee agendas and minutes are posted on our website. Any legislative reports, letters of support or opposition?
None.
Thank you. Any city manager report?
I was just going to mention the chamber event, but Nina already did, so no report.
You have to mention that. We also have the business window display contest at the Winter Festival, and then on the 20th, we have a light and display contest
That'll be fun.
that we will drive around and judge your houses. So anyone that wants their house judged, we will do it for you. Well, we'll judge your house, I guarantee you.
We did already.
I do every day when I drive by. All right, we're moving into city attorney
Is
report.
there
Oh, I'm sorry.
any, what's the prize for the best lit up house? Is there a gift certificate? from
There is a
local
prize
business,
through the chamber, and I don't know what it is this year. I know for the businesses, it's $250.
Hey, Nina, quick question.
or that's incentive?
What's the prize for who wins the best house this year?
Gift certificate.
There you go.
That's right.
It's kind of a parade.
It's just a stroll through town with loud music and lights. Okay, we're getting off track here. City attorney report. Beautiful. Let's see here. Council member reports. Anything written or verbal? Anything you want to say, add? Nothing? David, thank you. It's your last meeting. You're sitting in the back. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for everything. Thank you for everything you've done for Cloverdale. And with that, with nothing else, welcome Councilmember Lasky, and first meeting is adjourned at 7:32.